What's up, everybody? Today is a very special day here at Blade HQ because we're talking about beginner knives.
We are, and we have a ton of different categories. We're going to be talking about folders, fixed blades, balisongs, and multi-tools. So let's jump right in.
Yeah, starting with the Elementum 2.
Yes, so we have the button lock version of the Civivi Elementum. I'm sure you guys have seen it. This is the Dessert Warrior Edition, but I picked this one because it is dependable, first off.
Yes,
but it is so smooth and so easy to use with the button lock. Anyone could use it.
Yeah, and one thing a lot of knife beginners start out with is they're like, I'm not sure what to look for in a knife.
Yeah.
Like, what is the knife that's just going to do it well? And what I like about Civivi, and this is their most popular model, the Elementum.
Absolutely.
But every knife they make, it has good edge geometry, it has good blade steel, and you don't need to do a whole ton of homework, but you get a great knife for a great price from Civivi.
These, as you said, won't break the bank. They're going to be easy entry into the knife world. It's not something you're going to be scared to buy and scared to use.
Yep.
And speaking of not scared to use, we have the Ontario Rat 1, a big chonker.
Yeah, this is one of my first knives from when I was getting into knives a little bit. And I just, feel talking about this. It's designed by Rat, so Randall's Adventure Training. They're a primo wilderness and high intensity rescue organization.
Yeah, they do a lot.
Yeah, and this was a folder they came out with that was supposed to be a lot of utility for not a lot of money.
Yeah, so with this, we're getting something super durable, something you aren't going to be afraid to use. We have polymer scales with a nice liner in between. It's going to keep it nice and thick.
Steel liners.
Yep.
So nice and hefty. Beat the tar out of it and you're going to be just fine.
Next up, we have a spring-assisted model, which is the Kershaw Leak. And that thing flies open.
It does. And this is probably the most common dad knife I see around.
For sure.
So first of all, that spring-assisted action is really nice. Gives you a nice pointy tip for cutting stuff.
Yep.
Super slim and light, metal construction, but look at this little lever back here. When you close it, you pull this shut. Now, no power of God or man will open that blade.
Exactly.
And no power of your children will open that blade. So a great safe choice if you're a little nervous about getting people cut. This thing's a nice safe thing to throw in the pocket.
And next up, we have the Spyderco Tenacious, which I think is a great introduction to an amazing brand, which is Spyderco.
Spyderco is probably the nerdiest knife company, I'd imagine. They pay so much attention to all the little details, and this one they made like a good using knife, but for not a lot of money. I think these are still less than $60.
Exactly, and these are the lightweight, so they have really nice FRN lightweight handles with a steel liner and super piercy tip. But with these, yes, there are details that Spyderco puts into their knives, but their knives are very simple, easy to use. They have the spider hole, so you can easily open that with, if you want to flick it, if you're that good, you can do that, but otherwise, you can even open it with two hands.
Yeah, there's a lot of journeys you can take in the knife world, and one of my favorite journeys, the one I took, is definitely the nerd's journey.
Yeah.
And if you want to start digging into the details of what makes a knife great, I think this would be a great knife because you'll be able to see this is why everything, and Spyderco has a thriving community to show you. Yeah. And then you know where you want to go from there. So I think if you want to explore the nuance of knives, then I would start here.
Next up, another Civivi. We have the Yonder.
Now, if you choose to walk the path of community, get to know the cool people. This one's made by Zach Whitmore, one of the coolest people ever. Zach in the Wild.
Yes.
In fact, if you're watching this, I'm willing to bet that if you haven't seen one of his videos recommended to you already, you will shortly.
Exactly. And this is another entry-level knife. We have a thumb stud, we have a crossbar lock, so this is the first time we're seeing that on the table. Super intuitive, very fidgety, something easy to run all day long.
Yeah, what I love about this lock in particular is if you're gonna break this lock, you're gonna have to break the whole bar. So if you're somebody who might beat their knives up a little bit, like farmers or construction workers or people out there working hands, I would recommend looking at something with this kind of a lock.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a more stylish option, but still under $100, a great price, and you can have, this one has this really cool Damascus blade and some wood scales.
Yeah, but this is the bougie version, if you will. There are just plain blade steels and whatever handle material you like.
Yeah.
But that one sure does look good, doesn't it?
Oh, I love it. It's on my wish list, don't worry. Next up, we have the Buck 110.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard to beat.
It is. It's a classic. So this is a manual folder. It has the strong, sturdy Buck lock back. So if you're using it, you can be confident that that thing is not going to close on you and it's going to lock up nice and tight. And again, super piercy, slicey blade. If maybe someone you know is a hunter and you're looking to get them a nice knife for when they're in the field, this is a great option.
Yeah, and one of my favorite fun facts about this knife is you have full brass scales and these ebony handle scales in the middle.
Yeah.
are made from the same ebony that makes Taylor guitars.
That is cool.
So, do you want to be like Taylor Swift or George Strait or all these other legends who play Taylor guitars, but you also want to carry a knife? Buck.
That's your
110.
option. Yeah, and they have a great heat treat on their blades, something that maybe nerds would kind of fan over a bit, but you know you're going to get the reliance with this knife.
Yeah, also one of the best warranties in the business.
Yes.
Basically, if you didn't try to break it, but it broke, they'll fix it for you.
And then next up we have the CGRB Pyrite.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just one of the many variations of it. This is, again, a thumb stud with a button lock, kind of like the Elementum, but another super great lightweight pocket knife.
Yeah, but another thing I'll add is one thing you'll learn when you get into knives, especially knives of a higher quality, sort of big boy knives, if you will, like these, they get really smooth in the action and they are fidgety like no other.
Oh, absolutely.
Who needs a fidget spinner when you have a Pyrite? Like this button lock, oh.
So
snappy.
smooth.
Oh yes, you just do this all day long. It's so much fun, and I love the button lock, which has become very popular, and I love that they have tuned it so well at a knife that is so affordable.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have different levels to this exact model. So this one you're going to have the G10, and then you can step up to the steel, and then you can step up to aluminum and S90 and all the fancy things. Yeah,
If you
titanium.
want to take this thing into the stratosphere, I think there's a titanium Damascus one that goes for $200 or
Yeah,
something.
it's awesome. And so they as well, CJRB, great introduction into something like this, which is more fidgety, which is a little bigger. I think it's a solid option.
Yeah.
Very similar to that one, we have a new brand that is kind of up and coming. They've been making their mark in the space as of late. We have Vastid, and this is the raccoon.
Yep, and the raccoon does come in a few different lock flavors as well, so whatever locking mechanism speaks to your soul, you can probably get it in a raccoon.
Yeah, very nice, well-rounded ergonomic handle. Your hand's gonna sit right on there. It has a thumb stud as well, so easy opening and closing. It's just super easy to use. They're very friendly to any user. I think it's a great entry knife.
Like seriously, there's never been a better time to get into knives than right now.
It's true.
The budget world is so big.
It is. It's so good. There's so many options, so many colors. And speaking of options and colors,
Can't get more than this.
Yeah, this was actually my first knife when I first got into knives. And this is the Lander, the original. So Lander 1, I guess you would say.
From a company called NAFS, started by my friend Ben Peterson.
Yeah, and he loves to make his knives super easy to use for anyone that wants to. They have very rounded edges, nothing looks too daunting, and as you see, I have kitty scales on it, so he allows you to customize your knives to however you want them to look.
Yeah, so if you're somebody who likes to tinker, like if you like to modify whatever, this company is interesting because these scales are super easy to remove and replace.
Yeah.
And you can just go to nafs.com and download the SVG file, and you can 3D print your own, you can mill
Exactly.
them out. Whatever you want to do, you could probably do it with a Lander.
Yeah, I don't see a better way to enter a space than with something you can customize and have fun with. There's, there's no expectations with knives. You can have them any color and look that you want, and I think this one definitely fits that bill.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. And Ben Peterson, keep up the good work. I love your knives.
Oh, I love the Landers.
Yes. Now, that was a lot of folders, but that is just a drop in the bucket. Seriously, we had to cut down dozens upon dozens upon dozens of amazing budget-friendly folders
It's true.
to start this list. So you can just go sort by price at Blade HQ and you'll find a lot of awesome stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
now we have fixed blades, is my favorite.
Yes, you do love fixed blades. And we're going to start off the bat with kind of a bigger one, but it is still very user-friendly and entry-level. Oops,
Yeah,
that's not going to
so
sit on there.
the
Maybe it'll
Cold
do that.
Steel SRK. Here, I can hold it for you.
Thank you.
So let me tell you about the SRK for a minute.
Yeah.
Recently, I wrote an article entitled "The Knives of Navy SEALs."
Oh, yes.
Because if you Google the word Navy SEAL knife, you will find so many people claiming, this knife is used by Navy SEALs. This is the Navy SEAL knife. More knives than there are Navy SEAls to carry them. And so
It's true.
I'm in the industry, and I embarked on a journey, and I started asking around different reps and whatever.
Yeah.
The SRK is a very frequent flyer among the SEALs. They get
could
issued
see
it
it.
in training, and I think it's because it costs the taxpayers not very much money. I want to say you get these for around $50, $60 right
Yeah,
now.
they're great.
Yep, a very tough blade steel, really robust tip, and a grippy handle, especially if you're going to be around water.
Yeah.
And SRK stands for Survival and Rescue Knife.
Yes, and they do have a compact version. If maybe this big one is a little too daunting for you, you can get one that's a little bit smaller. But I do love how we have the nice finger guard on there.
Yep.
As a beginner fixed blade, if you will, you're going to make sure that your fingers aren't going to be slipping into the path of the blade while you're using it. So rest assured.
And some of you might have stumbled into the knife world via the bushcraft world. People who like to go out in the woods and build shelters and start fires and do all that just with their knife.
Yeah.
And I don't know a bushcrafter that doesn't recommend this guy.
The Mora. I believe this is the Pro C. It's the one that we had in the storefront, but the basic 511 is probably the one you guys know the most.
Which is basically this one, just with a stainless blade. This one's a carbon blade steel. You can learn why that's important another day, but there's differences for all you steel folk out there.
But it is so lightweight. We have, I believe it's just a plastic handle, so it's going to keep it nice and light. It is not a full tang, so the blade only goes partially into that handle.
Steel. And that keeps the weight nice and light.
Exactly.
So you're going to be carrying it for miles and miles.
Yeah, and it has a nice sheath that you can actually hook to the side of your backpack. You can put it on your belt. You can do whatever with it.
And then next up, for all you EDC fixed bladers out there, we have the Minimalist from CRKT.
Yeah, so I put this one on the list because it does give you an option to be a neck knife, so it's something you could throw around your neck, keep it on you all the time, super accessible.
But it does come with belt hardware in the box if you want to carry it on your belt instead.
Yes, and it has obviously a smaller handle, but it does have a lanyard, so if you need to be able to put more of a grip on there, you can always rest your finger on the back. But small blade, something that's legal everywhere, so, you know, go outside and use it. Take it camping with you, take it on a hike. Next.
Next up from Buck, we have the 119 Special. And this is probably the oldest knife design we have here.
I would think so. But again, under $100 for something that looks this premium. Again, a great entry level, bigger fixed blade. You can use this for hunting if that's what you like to do. Otherwise, it's just, again, something to use all the time when you're outdoors, maybe camping.
Yep. Very nice handle. This handle is made of a phenolic resin, the same stuff bowling balls are made out of. And then you have these beautiful, I want to say nickel silver, or maybe aluminum
I think so.
blisters.
Yeah.
They look pretty, and it's fun to cut with, nice and comfortable. It's a lot of fun. And now, the butterfly knives.
Yeah, I'm excited about these.
So the butterfly knives, or Balisongs as the nerds call them, are these guys right here that have the two handles that sort of have their roots in Filipino martial arts and are fun to flip around.
Yeah, and so this is the Baron Sons butterfly knife. I believe that's just what they call it. And this one's a cool red, white, and blue handles. But the reason this one's on the list is because for USA-made Balisong, it comes in at a great price. It's something that is super introductory to Balisongs. You're going to get obviously a live blade on this one. We'll talk about trainers in a second. But for a live blade USA-made Balisong, great entry point. But now let's talk trainers.
Yes, the trainers. And I'm actually allowed to flip trainers at the table.
Yes.
Sarah doesn't like it when I
Not
flip
the live blades, please.
So this one is the Squid Industries Squiddy.
I love this one. Kind of looks like a little face on the blade there. But this thing is super lightweight. I mean, it has no metal on it whatsoever.
I think it has metal in the screws and the pins. But other than that, it's plastic.
Exactly. And so you're not going to be hurting anyone or anything if you're practicing, you're throwing it around.
Yeah, and I think I would point most people towards this guy for that.
Yes.
This one's the Flitanium Zenith 2.0.
Yes.
This one's brand new, and it has a lot of quality of life features that butterfly flippers are really going to be into. We won't get too deep into that. That's a whole rabbit hole of its own.
It's true.
But this one's all metal, so aluminum with a steel blade, trainer implement.
Dull blade.
And it flips so nice.
It is. It is so smooth. And this comes in tons of different colors. So if you just want to have something with a pop of color in your pocket that you can just fidget with, another great option.
Yep. And if you're going to get into butterfly knife flipping, I would recommend starting with a couple of trainers, so that way you can learn what you like in your weight preferences, how fast you want to flip, and then you can get into the community and they'll reference you to the perfect knife for you on the high end for when you're ready to enter Blade HQ's Bally Comp at Blade Show.
Yay! But, all right, those were enough Balisongs. You guys will figure that one out when you use them. But we're going to talk about multi-tools now.
And starting with perhaps the most iconic multi-tool of them all,
Yes.
the Swiss Army knife.
Yes, I believe this is the Tinker.
This one's the Super Tinker.
Super
it's got
Tinker.
scissors.
That's true, it is. So it's a little bit thicker, as you'll see. It comes with a bunch more tools than just the classic SD, which we also have on the table. But this one packs a punch. It has a bunch of different tools in it, like George said, all the way from a spade blade to a normal blade to scissors to a screwdriver, anything you can use it for.
Yep, for tinkering,
Exactly.
if you will. I wonder if that's why they named it that.
We can hope.
Yep, comes in a bunch of colors as well, but no Swiss Army knife comes in more colors than that classic SD you mentioned.
Yes, and it's so
This little
tiny.
Keychain, which might be the most confiscated knife in the world.
I'd imagine. I mean, most people probably throw this in a bag or a purse, and then they forget it's there, and then it gets taken away. But
yes, but boy, does it have a lot of utility. This little blade is great for opening packages and letters and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And then on the back, you have a little pair of scissors, which are surprisingly capable of fingernail clippers.
Yeah.
And also a little, if I can find it, maybe it's on the other side. Nope, that's the blade. Boom, there you go. There's your little nail file.
We'll get there eventually.
Cleaning out your fingernails as well. Now, one thing that makes me sad is there's not too many like compact multi-tools in the EDC space.
There really aren't.
This guy owns the market. This is the SOG Power Pint.
Yes, and we had this on the Best Knives for Women video because it is, like you said, super compact. It's very easy to use, and it has all the right tools that you might need in an emergency, something that you can keep in your purse for everyday, maybe crazy situations, or just normal things that you might need to cut something with.
It is incredible. You should get one.
Yes, again, great entry multi-tool, and next we'll talk about something that's a little bit higher in the price point.
Yes, but I would argue still definitely worth the investment.
Yeah.
So this is the Leatherman Wave. Leatherman is probably the king of multi-tools in my opinion. And this guy is their most popular model. It's got a bunch of useful tools, pliers, replaceable wire cutters if you want to go and cut through some wires a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But then it also has your knife, it also has your saw, it also has your serrated knife. It just has so much going for it in one little package. And all of the implements work really well. Everything locks, everything so good. So I was talking to one of my buddies here at work, and he was saying that he was flying with one of the little keychain Leathermans, I think it was the Micra maybe, and he needed to get through security, but they're like, hey, you can't fly with a knife. And he's like, okay. And then he just snaps the knife off on a table. It's just a teeny little thing.
Right.
And Leatherman honored the warranty. When he got back, he sent it to Leatherman, and they gave him a new one for free, a new blade.
That's amazing. I love it. They knew that he was a Leatherman fan, and they're like, you're committed to it. Let's honor it. So, yeah, lots of brands on this table are going to have great warranties like that, as we mentioned earlier.
Yes. So don't be afraid of the knife world. Come on in. The water's great. Lots of fun knives, and a lot of different fun price points, too.
Absolutely, and like George has been saying this whole time, there are so many more options that you can find on our website, or if you're here in Utah, come visit us in the storefront, test them out yourself, and get yourself into the knife world.
Yep. But above all, carry a knife every day. Stay sharp. It's good for you.
We'll see you next time.